Ever get that feeling, like a little spark, when something you're really into, some skill or passion, makes you think, hey, I could actually teach this to others?
Totally. It's that moment when you realize you have something valuable to share.
Yeah. And maybe the idea of creating an online course has even crossed your mind, right?
Definitely. It's pretty common thought these days.
But then it can feel kind of overwhelming, like, where do you even begin?
Exactly. Turning that initial spark into a fully fledged course can seem like a huge undertaking.
Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today.
That's right. We're going to break down the process of launching your first online course step by step.
We're going to make it way less intimidating, trust me. We're working from a really helpful guide that lays out 8 key steps, taking you all the way from that initial idea to getting feedback and making your course even better over time.
Yeah, it's a roadmap that can really demystify the whole journey and show you it's totally doable.
Absolutely. And whether you're just starting to think about this or you've already got some ideas brewing, we're going to unpack each stage, give you practical advice, and hopefully leave you feeling like, okay, I see how this works.
Yeah, it's all about empowering you to take those first steps.
So let's jump right in. Step 1 is all about finding and validating your course idea.
And the cool thing here is that it starts with you.
Yeah, like looking inward.
Exactly. Think about what you're really good at, the things you're passionate about, your unique experiences, all of that.
It's about tapping into your own expertise, right?
Totally. And a great way to do this is to think about the kinds of questions people always ask you.
Oh, that's good. Like, what problems do your friends or colleagues come to you for help with?
Exactly. What's that thing that people always say, oh, you're so good at that, you should teach a class on it?
Ha, I know, right? The guide gives some good examples to get you thinking. Social media for coaches, mindfulness for busy professionals, introduction to freelance writing.
Yeah, those are great examples.
So for you listening, what's your thing? What's that area where your knowledge really shines?
Once you've brainstormed some potential topics, the next crucial step is validation.
Because you got to make sure there's actually an audience for your course, right? It's not enough to just hope people will be interested.
Exactly. You have to actively investigate. And a big part of that is looking at existing online learning platforms.
Places like Udemy, Coursera, Teachable, Thinkific, all those.
Yeah, those are the big ones. See what kind of courses are already out there in the area you're considering.
Now, seeing similar courses shouldn't freak you out.
Oh, definitely not.
It's more about digging a little deeper.
How do you mean?
Well, instead of just noting that they exist, check out the reviews, see what students are saying.
That's a good point. See what they liked, what they didn't like.
Yeah, and pay attention to how many students have enrolled. What are the instructors focusing on?
You can learn a lot from analyzing the competition.
Totally. You might find there's a specific angle that no one's really covering, or maybe students are consistently asking for more information on a certain subtopic.
That could be your opportunity to stand out.
Exactly. So don't be discouraged by seeing other courses. Use it to your advantage.
And beyond the dedicated course platforms, don't forget about good old Google.
Yeah, you can gauge broader interest using tools like Google Trends.
Right. It'll show you the search volume for terms related to your potential course topics over time.
So you can see if interest is increasing or decreasing.
Exactly. And another cool tool is AnswerThePublic. It shows you the kinds of questions people are asking online.
Oh yeah, I've used that one. It's super helpful for understanding what people are struggling with.
It can give you real insight into the demand and the specific pain points people are trying to solve.
Let me give you an example. Let's say you're thinking about a course on making kombucha at home.
Okay, I like kombucha.
You can use Google Trends to see if searches for kombucha starter or troubleshooting kombucha are on the rise.
That's smart. So you're not just guessing, you're actually seeing what people are searching for.
Exactly. And while we're talking about research and brainstorming, this is where ChatGPT can be a huge help.
Oh yeah, good point. AI can play a big role here.
Right from the get-go, you can use it as a sounding board. You could tell it your areas of expertise and ask it to generate related course topic ideas.
That could be really useful for expanding your options. You might not have thought of some of those yourself.
Definitely. And you can ask it to research the popularity of different potential subjects or even analyze the types of questions people are asking online about those topics.
It's like having a research assistant working for you 24/7.
Totally. Okay, so let's say you've done your research and you feel good about your course idea. What's next?
Now it's time to define your ideal learner.
Step 2.
This is where you move beyond a general idea of who your course is for and get really specific.
Yeah, it's not enough to just say beginners or people interested in X.
Right, you need to dig deeper. The guide talks about thinking about basic demographics like age, occupation, location.
Sure, that's a good starting point, but it goes beyond that, right?
Absolutely. You need to understand their goals. What do they hope to achieve by taking your course?
What are their pain points? What are they struggling with?
Exactly. And what are their fears? What's keeping them up at night related to this topic?
Really getting inside their heads.
Yeah. Because having a clear picture of your ideal learner will inform everything you do.
From the content you create to how you market your course, it's all connected.
Absolutely. The guide also brings up learning styles. You need to consider how your ideal student prefers to learn.
Oh, that's such an important point. Do they like watching videos, reading articles, doing interactive exercises?
Some people thrive in live discussions, others prefer self-paced learning. You need to think about that.
It's about tailoring your delivery method to how they best absorb information.
Right. So the example in the guide is professionals aged 30 to 45 seeking work-life balance through mindfulness practices.
I like that example. It's specific and gives you a good sense of who they are.
So I want you to imagine your ideal student. What are their characteristics? What are their needs and aspirations?
Once you have that clear picture in mind, we can move on to step 3, which is all about setting clear learning objectives and outcomes.
This is where we focus on what your students will actually be able to do after completing your course.
It's not just about passively consuming information.
Right. It's about acquiring tangible skills and knowledge that they can apply in their lives.
The guide even mentions Bloom's taxonomy, which is basically a framework for thinking about different levels of learning.
From remembering facts to applying knowledge to analyzing and even creating something new.
It helps you design your course with specific learning goals in mind.
Exactly. So the example they give is, by the end of this course, students will be able to create and implement a personal mindfulness routine.
I like how action-oriented that is.
It's specific, measurable, and focused on what the student will be able to do.
So what are the concrete skills your students will walk away with after taking your course? Think about that.
The guide also talks about student transformation, which I think is a really powerful concept.
Oh yeah, the before and after picture.
Exactly. So they give the example of someone going from feeling stressed and overwhelmed to confidently using mindfulness techniques in their daily life.
What's the transformation you envision for your students?
Having that clear vision will guide you as you create your course.
Okay, now we're getting to the good stuff. Step 4 is curriculum structure.
This is where we start mapping out the actual content of your course.
Think of it like building a house. You start with the foundation, then the rooms, then you furnish each room.
I like that analogy.
So the foundation is your overall topic. Then you divide that into modules, which are like the rooms of the house.
Each module focuses on a specific aspect of the topic.
And then within each module, you have individual lessons, which are like the furniture in each room.
So an example from the guide is Module 1, Introduction to Mindfulness, and Module 2, Building Daily Habits.
And within each module, it's helpful to have a clear introduction, the core content, and then a summary to wrap things up.
That helps learners follow along and reinforce what they're learning.
Definitely. And the guide also emphasizes the importance of variety.
Keep it interesting.
Exactly. They suggest incorporating short video lessons, maybe 5 to 10 minutes each.
People's attention spans aren't what they used to be.
Huh. That's true. And mix it up with practical worksheets, quizzes to test their knowledge, and even consider live Q&A sessions or community forums.
Oh yeah, those can be really engaging.
You could use platforms like Zoom, Facebook groups, Discord.
So many options these days.
It's about finding the right mix for your topic and your audience.
And speaking of content creation, don't forget about our friend ChatGPT.
Our AI buddy is back.
It can be super helpful for brainstorming module and lesson titles.
Yeah, you want those to be clear and catchy.
You can even give it the core concepts you want to cover and ask it to generate ideas for different type of content.
Like quiz questions or worksheet prompts.
Even outlines for your video scripts.
Wow, that's amazing.
It can save you a ton of time and get those creative juices flowing.
Okay, so you've got your curriculum mapped out. Step 5 is all about tools and platforms.
The more technical side of things.
But don't worry, we'll keep it simple. This is where you decide where your course will actually live online and what tools you'll use to create it.
So first up, you need a course hosting platform.
This is where your course content will be hosted and where students will access it.
The guide mentions a couple of beginner-friendly options like Teachable and Thinkific.
They're known for being easy to use, which is great when you're starting out.
And then there's Kajabi, which is a more premium, all-in-one solution.
Now, while it might be a bit more of an investment, I really want to highlight why Kajabi could be such a great choice, especially for your first course.
Yeah, tell me more about that.
It basically integrates everything you need into one platform. Your course content, your website, your landing pages, your email marketing, it's all there.
That's pretty convenient.
Super convenient. It simplifies things so much, you don't have to juggle multiple tools and figure out how to make them all work together.
So it streamlines the whole process.
Exactly. And it lets you focus on creating great content and connecting with your students.
I can see why that would be appealing, especially for someone new to this.
Absolutely. The guide also briefly mentions content creation tools.
Like what you use to actually make your videos and stuff.
Yeah, for video recording and editing, you've got options like Loom, Camtasia, ScreenFlow. Don't feel like you need to go all out and create Hollywood-level productions.
Yeah, keep it simple.
Clear audio, engaging visuals, that's what matters most.
And what about for creating slides and presentations?
Canva and Google Slides are great for that. They have tons of templates to make your content look professional.
And for audio, like if you're doing audio lessons or voiceovers?
Audacity and GarageBand are both free and easy to use.
Cool. So we've got our tools, we've got our platform. Now it's time to create a content creation plan.
Step 6.
This is where you get organized and set a realistic schedule for actually creating your course.
Because it's easy to get overwhelmed if you don't have a plan.
Totally. The guide suggests a 4-week plan as an example.
Okay, so week 1 could be all about finalizing your outlines, gathering any resources you need.
Week 2 could be drafting your lesson scripts and creating your visuals.
Week 3, recording your videos and audio.
And week 4, editing, uploading everything, setting up any quizzes or assignments.
Having that timeline can be super helpful.
It keeps you on track and accountable.
And the guide also recommends using templates to streamline your workflow.
Oh yeah, templates are a lifesaver.
Canva has great slide templates, and you can even create simple script templates for yourself.
With sections for your intro, your main points, your summary.
It helps you stay focused during recording. And don't underestimate the power of checklists.
Checklists are the best.
Make a checklist for each stage, like script writing, recording, editing, reviewing. It ensures you don't miss anything important.
And speaking of time-saving tips, ChatGPT can be a huge help here too.
Of course. Our AI friend is back again.
You can use it to help you draft your lesson scripts or even create detailed outlines based on your module structure.
It can give you a great starting point and free up your time to focus on refining the content and adding your own personal touch.
So now you've created all your awesome content. Step 7 is all about your launch strategy.
Getting your course out into the world.
This is where you think about how you're going to introduce your course to potential students and get those first enrollments.
The guide emphasizes the importance of the pre-launch phase, which I think is key.
What does that involve?
It's all about building anticipation and connecting with your audience before your course officially goes live.
Okay, that makes sense.
So the guide recommends building an email list. You can offer a valuable free resource, like a guide or a mini course, in exchange for their email address.
That's a classic strategy, but it works.
It's all about providing value up front. And to collect those email addresses, you'll need a simple landing page.
You can create those on platforms like Canva, ConvertKit, or Kajabi.
Yeah, those are all good options. And during this pre-launch phase, start promoting your upcoming course on social media and in relevant online communities.
Get the word out there.
Exactly. Then comes the actual launch phase. The guide suggests offering early bird discounts or bonuses for people who enroll early.
That's a good way to create some buzz.
It rewards those early adopters and creates a sense of urgency.
And what about communication during the launch?
Super important. Send out email announcements to your list, letting them know your course is live.
Keep them in the loop.
You can even host a live webinar or a Q&A session to answer questions and generate excitement.
Sounds like a solid launch plan.
So you've put in all the work, you've launched your course, that's a huge accomplishment. But it doesn't end there. Step 8 is all about feedback and improvement.
The learning never stops.
Exactly. This is an ongoing process of making your course even better over time.
So how do you do that?
The guide recommends actively soliciting feedback from your students. You can use surveys, like Google Forms or Typeform,
Send those out after each module or at the end of the course.
and encourage students to leave reviews. Those are so valuable for attracting future students.
Social proof is powerful.
Totally. And don't be afraid of constructive criticism. View feedback as a gift. It helps you grow and improve.
The guide talks about iteration and continuous improvement.
That's key to long-term success.
You're always tweaking, refining, making things better based on what you're learning.
Maybe you even create follow-up courses or advanced modules based on the feedback you receive.
So it's really an ongoing journey.
It is. So as you can see, launching your first online course is totally achievable. And this roadmap provides a clear path to get you there.
It breaks it down into manageable steps.
And remember, throughout this whole process, from brainstorming to outlining to even writing your content, ChatGPT can be your trusty sidekick.
That AI can really take some of the pressure off.
Definitely. And when it comes to choosing a platform, especially for your first course, we highly recommend Kajabi.
It's an all-in-one solution that can simplify things tremendously.
And if you find yourself needing more guidance, you can always reach out to Dave. He's got tons of resources to help you on your journey.
So here's a final thought for you. What's one small action you can take today to move your course idea forward?
Maybe jot down some potential titles or outline your first module.
Just take that first step. Momentum is a powerful thing.
You got this, and we'll be here to cheer you on every step of the way. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
See you next time.